In 60 years, scientists mapped about 200,000 protein structures by hand. Then one AI, DeepMind's AlphaFold, predicted over 200 million, nearly every protein known to science. That single leap quietly rewired how we hunt for new medicines. So in 2026, what's actually real? Quick promise before we dive in. This video is informational, not medical advice. I'll lean on named studies, not vibes. And the honest headline is this: AI is becoming a powerful assistant to doctors. It is not replacing them, and it shouldn't replace your doctor either. So here's the plan. We'll walk through AI in drug discovery, then diagnostics like radiology, then access, the India and Global South angle that rarely makes headlines. After that, a hard reality check on bias and overhype. Stick around, because the nuance is the whole point. Start with drug discovery. Proteins are the tiny machines your body runs on, and their 3D shape decides what a drug can grab onto. For decades, figuring out a single shape could take a researcher years. AlphaFold made a solid first guess almost instant and offered it for free. AlphaFold doesn't make drugs by itself, though. It's a map. DeepMind spun out a company, Isomorphic Labs, to actually design medicines on top of that map. At Davos in January 2026, CEO Demis Hassabis said they expect their first AI-designed drugs to enter human trials by the end of this year. But one AI-shaped drug is already further along. In June 2025, Nature Medicine published Phase 2A results for rentasertib, a lung fibrosis drug from In Silico Medicine, with both its target and its molecule shaped by AI. Now temper that. Phase 2A is early. It hints a drug is safe and might work, not that it's proven. Most candidates still fail later, and full approval takes years of larger trials. What AI is really doing is shrinking the early hunt, not skipping the tests that keep patients safe. Next, diagnostics. And this is where AI is already in hospitals today. According to the FDA's own list, regulators have now cleared more than 1,400 AI-enabled medical devices. Nearly 300 were added in 2025 alone. And the single biggest category, by a wide margin, is radiology. Why radiology? Because a lot of it is pattern spotting in images, X-rays, CT, MRI, mammograms. That's exactly what modern AI is good at. These tools flag suspicious spots, triage the urgent scans first, and act like a tireless second reader looking over the radiologist's shoulder. And there's real evidence. A 2025 Nature Medicine study followed over 460,000 women in Germany's breast screening program. Radiologists supported by AI caught more cancers than standard double reading, without raising false alarms. Studies like that are why the excitement here isn't pure hype. Here's the crucial nuance, though. In that study, the AI didn't work alone. It supported the radiologists. The humans stayed in charge. And that's the pattern across serious medicine right now. AI assists doctors. It does not replace them. It should never replace a conversation with yours. Now the part headlines skip: access. Fancy AI in a rich country hospital is one story. The bigger one is the billions of people with no specialist nearby. In rural India, reports note that up to 80% of specialist posts at many public health centers simply sit vacant. That gap is where AI can genuinely change lives. Take tuberculosis, which still kills hundreds of thousands in India every year. Tools like Cure.ai's QXR read a chest X-ray in seconds and flag likely TB, so a health worker with a portable scanner can screen a whole village. And it's being tested properly. India's ICMR, its top medical research body, has evaluated AI chest X-ray screening for cost and accuracy. Since AI tools were folded into the national TB program, researchers report a 27% drop in bad TB outcomes. That's people, not just data points. But access cuts both ways. A tool trained on one country's patients can stumble on another's. Cheap phones, patchy power, and spotty internet all get in the way. AI can shrink the doctor gap in the global south, but only if it's actually built and tested for those exact conditions. Which brings us to the reality check, because a lot of medical AI claims don't survive scrutiny. One 2025 review of 347 medical imaging AI papers found that over 80% claimed their method was better, with no test for statistical significance. Impressive demos are not the same as proof. Then there's bias. Studies show more than half of medical AI datasets come from just the US and China, and most genetics research leans heavily on people of European ancestry. Train on a narrow slice of humanity, and the tool can quietly perform worse on everyone left out. It gets subtler. MIT researchers, writing in Nature Medicine, found that fixes for AI bias often work only inside the hospital that built them. Move the same model to a new hospital with different machines and different patients, and the fairness gaps quietly creep right back in. And please be careful with AI chatbots as doctors. A general chatbot can sound confident and still be flat out wrong. It can invent facts. It doesn't examine you, doesn't know your history, and no one is accountable if it's wrong. Useful for questions to ask, not for a diagnosis. So here's the line I want you to remember. Everything in this video is informational, not medical advice. AI is a tool that helps trained doctors decide faster. It doesn't replace their judgment or yours. For anything about your own health, always talk to a qualified doctor. Full stop. Okay, my take. The hype says AI is about to replace doctors. The fear says it's all a bubble. Both are wrong. What's actually happening is less cinematic and more useful. AI is becoming plumbing, quietly speeding up discovery and catching things that tired humans miss. The real 2026 story isn't a robot doctor. It's a radiologist in Germany catching one more cancer, a health worker in rural India screening a whole village, and a drug that began as an AI's idea now sitting in a real human trial. Unglamorous, human-led, and genuinely real. But whether it helps you depends on boring stuff. Testing on diverse patients, honest studies, and keeping a human doctor in the loop. Root for the careful version of this future. The flashy version, the one that skips the checks, is the one that ends up getting people hurt. If this gave you the real picture, no hype, no doom, subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is for. And tell me in the comments, would you trust an AI to read your scan as long as a doctor still signed off on it? I read the replies. See you in the next one.